Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today I am showing off the Tier 6 Heavy British Cruiser that recently came out. Actually, this replay was prior to the release date of the Heavy British Cruisers. Obviously, it is the Devonshire. I guess I should actually mention that. And I am joined with Yugamo in the Tier 6 Furious, and demotivated in the Tier 6 Royal British Navy battleship, the Warships. So we're all British here, I guess. I don't know. We just decided to do a British theme. So let's talk about the Devonshire. Let's talk about the British cruisers. I haven't actually made any mention about these guys because things have been hectic here. But they are obviously what a lot of people are wanting. I guess a lot of people are also disappointed with the original line because they were obviously very light tier. These heavy cruisers have a fairly large caliber. Devonshire has 203 millimeters, which is kind of standard for heavy cruisers. But at the tier 10 Goliath, it has, I believe now, the largest or second largest shell in the game, excluding any premium paper ships. You know what I'm talking about. Well, then again, so is the HIV. But anyways, so the British heavy cruisers, I mean, they hit hard. They have fairly good velocity. They're not as straight. Have a very low shot like a Russian cruiser has. They're kind of a mixture between USN cruisers and Russian cruisers. The only major downside, and you're probably seeing it right now, my range on the guns is 14 kilometers, which is, it's abysmal. Like, there are tier 6 cruisers that have 15, 16 kilometers. And these ships don't have really good armor. They're very, very fragile. They're not particularly great as far as being able to withstand shots, especially when you're being shot at by tier 8 battleships like that Massachusetts or a Bismarck. So, yeah, definitely not the greatest. Honestly, they're reminiscent of USN cruisers. They need islands, but even then they're not particularly great because they don't have that same hang time as USN cruisers. They have a good fire chance, as you did see there. We did get fires on every salvo we actually landed, which is always super nice. But it's the play style, it's the range, I think, is by far the worst. It's so limited. And I hear a lot of people are a little upset because there's just nothing unique about them, which I know, shocking, right? Wargaming released a cruiser line that doesn't have a gimmick. Shocking. But this is kind of where the Royal cruisers are currently sitting. They don't have a gimmick. They're just your standard cruiser. They have defensive AA, so they're similar to USN. That's probably honestly the best way to compare them. They're very similar to USN cruisers. The only other downside of this line is the very slow reload rate. This is not a very fast-paced, high HE spammer. The HE does hit hard. As you've seen, I'm actually getting decent damage on this Bismarck. And getting fires, so I mean, it does have very good potential. Its AP is actually pretty good as well. We'll definitely get to see it, but yeah, it's just your standard cruiser, no gimmick, which is actually kind of a good thing because I'm getting really sick of gimmicky ships, honestly. But it does make them more difficult to play because they don't have an edge. But once again, they're not really crowding out anything, so there's always that. Right now, Devonshire feels fairly decent. It's not overly amazing, but it's still pretty decent. Hits pretty hard. Has a very good detect at tier 6. Not the best, but still pretty good. Does have a heal, which is really beneficial. It's going to ensure that you survive longer, as long as you can actually get those heals off. But once again, the range is probably my only major complaint about this line. It's very limited. As you can see, we actually have to go back towards the Bismarck because we just don't have the range. And I was actually stopping and reversing, just trying to get continued shots on this Bismarck, because this Bismarck pushed up way too far. That's pretty much on his own and just is getting hammered by all our cruisers. Definitely is surviving longer than probably should have been, but it is what it is. There is an Saucio B that's still hanging around. He's been keeping us spotted for some time. Our friendly Bajani finally goes down. Now we're currently the main focus, but this Bismarck is gonna go down. I think, yep, right there. Okay, good. Don't have a big old battleship right in our face, so we're good there. We're gonna try to focus down the destroyers. Now, I will have to say, as a cruiser, the Devonshire is good against destroyers, but it's not the best. Its main focus is going to be generally cruisers and even battleships. So, very similar playstyle to the battleships. Like, if you play battleships, you're more accustomed to that very slow reload rate, which is, once again, not the worst. So this is not the worst as far as its reload rate. This is kind of similar to the Furry Taco in a lot of ways, and even the Alba. So if you're accustomed to those, a little bit slower, not the worst, but definitely slower. And there we go. Nice. Got a Citadel on that Helena. The Devonshire, as I did mention, does have defensive AA. You can actually choose that, or Hydro. Honestly, DAA is not that amazing, truth be told. Like, AA in general in this game is just absolutely terrible. It's absolute garbage. And they even changed the AA module, and that doesn't really do anything good now. It used to at least give you additional burst, but now obviously they got rid of that. Yeah, I'm not gonna go that much detail, because I actually do have a video that's going to be talking about CVs later, but we're talking about the Devonshire. I do run the defensive AA. Is it worth it? Not really. The AA is kind of mediocre. I mean, it gets the job done, but it's definitely not the best, nor the worst. It's kind of that middle ground. That's kind of what I'm getting from these cruisers, is they're kind of middle of the road, not particularly amazing in one aspect or another. So the only thing I can really say is that health, that regen is nice. The Devonshire does have torpedoes. They are only 8 kilometers. They are the Royal Navy blend, where they can fire single shots. So you do have that, but they're only 8 kilometers. The Devonshire is also not particularly fast, and she's not particularly nimble. She's kind of a Lud weight in the water. She can get up to around 33 knots. Once again, very similar to Sen cruisers, but that's kind of to be expected, I guess. Now, honestly, I probably would recommend get Hydro. Hydro is probably going to be your better bet. You probably use it more often than you would use defensive AA. I don't even think I used defensive AA once during this battle, which is funny. And that poor plane smashed right into that island. But yeah, I rarely use it. I mean, it's just not that worth it. But I thought I'd give it a try, see how it goes. And as always, kind of meh. So currently, the enemy team isn't doing so hot. We're actually fairly even on ships. The enemy team is down on caps and points. So we at least have that lead, but we are fairly separated. The enemy team is all in their spawn. They haven't really pushed us. We're actually pushing deeper into their territory. We took out the enemy warspite. Gonna try to get at least this Dallas. This Dallas is so low on health, 3.9k. Should be a fairly easy kill, but once again, this is kind of, the Devonshire's not that great getting over islands. which, I mean, it does mean you're able to land your shots a little bit easier than probably a lot of USM cruisers. But if you're trying to shoot over islands, yeah, it just definitely does struggle. Switched over to AP. Even though he's fairly angled, we should actually be able to finish him off. There we go. And of course, we earned ourselves a unneeded citadel. Of course. Why? Why else would we need that? So now the enemy team is pretty much on the ropes because they're about to lose just solely on points. They have 105 points unless they manage to get a kill or actually start capping. They're going to lose very, very quickly. I'm going to push towards this Helena. Try to at least get some damage. And be careful against even other cruisers. Your broadside, once again, you don't have a lot of armor, which is not particularly great. So just be mindful of the angle, and you should be fine. As far as currently what I'm seeing with the heavy British cruisers, they're mediocre. They're not amazing. They're not bad. They're definitely not bad. I actually haven't minded playing them that much, which is nice because it's starting to go, especially coming through the Italian cruiser line. It's been kind of a chore for me going up through that line. I haven't very much enjoyed the Italian line. So it's actually kind of nice playing a line where I actually don't mind playing it. But definitely it's worth a shot, worth a try to actually do that. Enemy team is just about to lose. They have only 10 points left in this match, and we have all 3 caps. Arc Royal is very, very close. Firing a salvo HE is not a bad idea, but once again, their damage control automatically pops whenever used, and getting fires and maintaining fires is not always a guarantee nowadays. Currently, I'm being focused. I think the Massachusetts is focusing us all the way down. Actually, technically, he's not that far. He's only 15 kilometers away, technically. So, don't know how I'm just that lucky not to get hit. I think I actually got dropped by Ego mode there. That was interesting. I just never noticed that when I was in battle. Switch over to AP just to try to get some citadels, maybe get some extra damage. So that always helps. Very nice. Earned ourselves another citadel. But we're going to finish off by taking out the Molotov instead. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Side Gen.